Hey everybody, I finally got my Starlink V2 setup complete, and I'd like to make a quick video to kind of share with all my friends and family and anybody out there that is looking for information. There's a lot of details that are not provided by SpaceX and Starlink, so I just want to do this to try to help share some of the details that you may be looking for. My motivation for doing this was backup for our internet connection. We just lost internet for over a month due to Hurricane Ida, and working from home, internet's pretty essential. So I hope this helps, and let me know in the comments if you want to know anything particular about the setup. I actually have a pretty decent view of the sky here. I don't have any obstructions at all. I opted to mount mine on a pretty short pole, and I used the pipe adapter kit so that I'd have some flexibility on what kind of pole to use. The reason I did this is because instead of mounting 25 feet in the air on the fascia board of my house, this way I could get to the dish a lot easier to take it off in the event of a hurricane, which is something that happens quite a bit here. I have the conduit 18 inches underground running up the side of a pole, and then it terminates here with a 1.25 inch conduit body LB box. I modified it. I lopped off the edge here and then used a Gland connector from McMaster-Carr so that I could still fit the edge of the cable through and have a waterproof connection. I think this is going to work out nice and makes it really easy to service in the future. At first I was thinking about taking the plastic conduit and turning it up to the inside of the rigid metal conduit, but I decided against that, and the primary reason is because the metal pipe goes 3 feet underground and it's cemented, and the plastic pipe is only 18 inches underground, so I was going to have to cut a significant portion of the side of the pipe just to get the conduit in there. So instead I just ran it on the side and protected the edge here with some cement just so that it's protected while I'm mowing. As I was saying before, I configured mine this way so that I could easily get to it in the event of a hurricane. I think these are only rated for roughly 70, 73, 74 miles an hour or something, which is about the beginning of hurricane category 1. So for me, I could easily get on a short ladder and remove this by just pushing the button here and then pulling it up. One thing I noticed that is a little weird is how much this rotates. I don't know if you can see that well, but it must not affect performance too much, if the wind blows this around, because I'm not really having any dropouts. I used the 2-inch by 10-foot long rigid electrical conduit pipe. It's pretty thick walled and it's easy to get at the big box store. But the main reason I got it is because the end of the pipe is threaded. There's a coupler underneath here. You can't see. I'll show that in a second. But I had to modify that a bit. But the reason I wanted this is because if someone builds a structure next door to me here in the city, I could easily extend this up, an extra 10 feet or so without much trouble. And it just gave me that extra flexibility. One thing that wasn't clear until I actually had this in hand is, it shows in the materials to not touch the front of the satellite dish. One of the accessories I bought, I believe it came with the pipe adapter, was a carrying bag so that if you're climbing a ladder, it's easy to have your hands free while you climb the ladder. I'll show that in a minute. One thing that I did not know about any of this setup until I had it in hand was that the cables on both sides are actually waterproof, which is a bit weird. So the user terminal is actually waterproof, and that was not obvious until I got some of the accessories. Actually, the accessory was an extra longer cable so that I could run it through this conduit, and in there it stated that you could use the user terminal outside. So this is a piece of the cable here, and you can see whenever you remove it that it's all waterproof glanded connections. And get that in focus. So this is what I used from Home Depot. This is a Conduit body type LB, and this is the section I cut off right here for the Gland connector. The dimensions are just nowhere to be found in any of the documentation, so if any of you are interested in the internal dimensions and the taper of this cast pipe adapter, let me know and I'll take it off and make a drawing or something so everybody can see, you know, what exactly this thing is. I'm not in love with the set screws sticking out. I may get some smaller ones so that it's not so ugly. The pipe adapter kit that I bought came with more than one set of set screws. This is the longer set, and if anybody's curious out there, this is a 6x1 millimeter course. I think I might get some shorter ones just to make it look a little better. This is the paper that came with the pipe adapter kit, and there's no dimensions in here, but there is this interesting piece of information right here that I didn't know until I purchased this pipe adapter kit. Right under installation conditions, it says the Starlink router / power supply is rated for both indoor and outdoor use. I'll show you the cable in a second, and it'll make sense how they achieve that. The other thing that's pretty cool is it came with this carrying bag. This is not meant to tote it around like from site to site. This is just to help you go up a ladder with your hands free for safety. I also bought the cable routing kit. There's not a whole lot of super useful stuff in this manual. The kit is nice. It comes with 2 drill bits that are sized for the grommets. I'll show the grommets in a minute. They're upstairs in the closet. This is probably the most useful piece. You know, you push the cable into this and it allows you to route it through the wall pretty easily and feed it through without getting hung up on anything. So this is the cable that shipped with the kit. I bought a separate cable that's 150 foot long instead of the 75 foot long cable that comes with the kit. Now, these cables are super high quality. They're super unique also. When you look at this, you know, this is all injection molded, kind of at a 90-degree angle, and it pushes into the bottom of the user terminal, and it's gasketed. And the first time I saw this, I was super confused, like, why would this be gasketed for internal use? Well, the reason why is because you can put it outside, but it's not the same on both sides. So the other side, also real nice, high quality gasketed. It does have this feature where you could push it in and you could basically not have a 90-degree, not have a 90-degree connector to feed through the pipe. But what's important about this is you really got to plan this out, because there's only one direction this could go. You know, you can't put this through the pipe, so you have to make sure you go in the right direction. So this is the user terminal, and it's pretty cool looking. It's made out of plastic and apparently waterproof. It's gray and white. The front is actually clear and the white is recessed a bit. If you look really close, you can see there's actually like these beveled edges, which is a cool little detail. Not sure how well that shows up. But the picture in the front here, those dots are not for LEDs or anything like that. The only LED is actually down here at the bottom in between the 2 connectors. So the connector on the left is the one that I've been talking about. It's the 90-degree connector that comes from the dish cable. And then to the right, that's a power cable. And in my case, the one on the left here is actually not the one from the end of the cable. It's from the Ethernet adapter, because I opted to purchase that accessory. So anyway, that's what it looks like. It's very cool and works well. So this is, I guess, pretty obvious because they make it pretty clear, but the user terminal does not have an Ethernet connector. So if you want that, in my case, I did, because I'm connecting this into a load balancer to balance load between a T-Mobile device, 5G fixed wireless device, and the Starlink device. But you have to buy this separately, and these are back ordered. It took a while. I don't know, it probably took about 3 or 4 weeks to get this in. And you basically plug power into this, and then this plugs into the bottom. So what I was showing earlier was actually this plugged in, and here's the power cable that came with the kit. As I was stating before, the motivation for me to do this is after Hurricane Ida, we lost internet for over a month while working from home. So the first thing I did was bought a T-Mobile fixed wireless 5G device, which is excellent. I mean, it works really well. But, you know, I was a fan of what SpaceX is doing and wanted to support that mission too. So I got both, and I'm trying to load balance them on this TP-Link ER605. And this is the second load balancer that I bought, and it works really well. It's incredibly easy to set up as compared to others. I'm looking for something here that is super easy for me to refer to other people, and friends and family, you know, could set this up easily. Now, this is a wide area network load balancer. This is not wide area network bonding. So this is balancing back and forth between sessions. The way I have it set up right now is 50-50. So I'll make a separate video about that, but this is really easy and useful. So this is the pipe adapter. I assume this is aluminum, it's cast. It's not super obvious until you get this in hand that yes, you can run a cable through the center if you'd like to. There is a keying feature that keys to the pipe that sticks out of the dish. That's what I showed earlier, where there was a little bit of slop. Also, it's not super obvious here, and like I was saying earlier, I could make a drawing or do a separate video that shows the dimensions of this, but there is a pretty significant taper here. And for me, I was mounting on this coupler, and I had to grind some flats here, you know, 120 degrees out from each other. And then I put some paint on those just so that it wouldn't immediately rust. But the whole reason for that is not necessarily to have a flat for the set screws, but to relieve enough of the coupler so that these bosses wouldn't interfere with the coupler. So this is how my setup works. So you just slip the pipe adapter over the coupler. It has the flats ground into it. And actually, you know, it snugs up pretty nicely since there's a taper there. And then you can just use the Allen wrench that came with it and snug these up. It works pretty well. It's very rigid. Alright, so this is the wall in the data closet where the Starlink cable is coming in from the attic. And as you can see there, that's a rectangular hole in the wall, and it's not using the grommet that came with the kit. So there's actually two of these grommets that come with the kit, and it was really the only thing that I wanted in the kit. But I wasn't able to use it because I didn't pay attention to the ends of the cable. So if you recall, the end of the cable that goes into the bottom of the user terminal has that fixed 90-degree connector. In my case, I started in the attic and I pulled the other end through the conduit towards the outside, and then I started working my way towards the data closet. And I drilled the round hole, but I couldn't get the 90-degree connector through the round hole, so I had to make a rectangular hole, so just beware.